Sitting here,
Yes.
this is That Matters Live with
It
Jessica
is.
Lawrence, and we're on location here in Pioneer Works in Red Hook, Brooklyn. Is this the coolest place you've ever been to?
It is.
It's
Say
very
hello
cool.
to the audience out there. Hi, Snuggerland. So good to see you. And I love live conversations because we get a chance to really kind of get the vibe. Like, what's the morning been like for you? How's it been?
It's been awesome. I spoke a little while ago, and always before I'm about to speak, usually remove myself from the space, so I don't always get to hear all of the speakers before me. But I did catch Ben's talk, and I loved his whole concept of looking at a and then like how many bananas he gets to eat before that day comes really helps make something tangible that's not always very tangible. So
That is a very cool idea. I heard part of this talk too, and I was very inspired by what he was saying. I didn't hear that part. That's amazing.
No.
I think I might do that. There should be an app for that.
And how come I understand you came from Eagle?
I was on Girl Scouts. They call it a gold award. So you get your gold award. I was a girl.
Were you?
I jumped in kind of after the age range for brownies. So.
Oh, really? Well, I was a Girl Scout too. And you know, did they get rid of that home economics badge yet?
No. I'm sure that they still have a sign in
that's so
home
great.
economics.
That's really awesome.
Did they badge yet on there?
Well, I think they're working on adding some computer science and science technologists. So yeah.
Yeah. What do you think they can get STEM to?
Well, I think we've done, and I did 7 or 8 years ago, an intensive engineering program for girls in the summer, just exposing them to engineering, and saw a huge impact from light bulb moments of girls kind of going like, I didn't realize the whole world around me, and I have the ability to design things in a better way and fix problem engineering. But I think it takes a fair amount of time and energy and sort of forward thinking curriculum that's been in place for a long, long time.
That's very true. Yeah, absolutely.
And what's your technological background? Like, do you have an engineering degree?
No, I have no technology background.
Seriously?
Yeah, seriously.
That's the great thing about being an executive director. You don't have to be a tech.
I would say, I came when I applied for the job at New York Tech Meetup. I had every other skill set that they were looking for. They wanted someone who knew how to run a nonprofit, who had fundraising experience, event experience, and the last thing on the list was experience in the technology industry. And I kind of said, well, I don't have that. Although, through Girl Scouts, I had become an in technology, and we had taken the organization through a whole overhaul of all of our technology platforms, because when I first started working there, we were still using, barely anybody had a computer at their desk.
Mm-hmm.
We were using hand-me-down desktops, and no one could work remotely, and so we had a big overhaul of switching everybody to laptops and smartphones, and so I'd been through that as well.
Wow. You moved into the next century.
Yeah.
Girl So that reminds me of like what Larry Summers said about they don't process math and science. Like, do we hate that comment?
Yeah. I mean, I think, it's really interesting. I gave a talk a couple years ago at South by Southwest about women in tech, and the guy running the sound for the talk came up to me afterwards, and he said, oh, this is really interesting. He's a young guy, probably 19 or 20, and he said, I didn't think that women liked technology. And so it's like even a person who's young, to so many different things, still thinks that women don't like technology. And there are people that still think that, I've definitely had girls tell me that their parents or guidance counselors or teachers tell them technology isn't for girls. Like, it's not something that you should go into.
No,
so there's still a big hurdle there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we do have a big hurdle. But you said something that I thought was really interesting, because people don't understand necessarily what technology means in a lot of different ways. And this is something I want to get. You two have a conversation about why you said technology is more than coding. What else is it, is my question.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you know, it's a whole broad spectrum of things. If you think about, like, coding is just one component of it, and you know, we think about technology as users, so knowing how to use technology, knowing how to do a good Google search, knowing how to get information. That's one basic level of having a technology skill. And then there are a whole bunch of skills that all connect to technology in some way, in which, you know, if you don't have at least a basic level of technology literacy, you're just going to struggle, because you're not going to be able to really act as a translator between the people who are the most technical and some of the positions and roles that are not as technical.
So in your 3 years there, have you seen it grow, the New York Tech Meetup? You've been to some of those meetings,
A
right?
lot of them, yeah. I'm a big advocate for,
Cool.
for the Meetup, and I'm also a big advocate for sort of seeing media change how we perceive what it is that technology can do for us. And it's not about being a coder. It's actually about being so much more. There's so much support around what technology does.
Yeah.
People who manage the projects, some of them aren't techies when they first start. They're just really good at managing projects. Other people are visionaries and they know how to, like, work with marketing. There's just so much to be done in space of tech.
Yeah, and I think some of it